In 2025, a historic legal decision shook the foundations of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The International Court of Justice, the principal judicial organ of the United Nations, delivered a landmark ruling. It declared Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories, including the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, illegal under international law. This ruling was a culmination of decades of legal challenges and advocacy by Palestinians and international human rights organizations. The court's decision explicitly stated that Israel's occupation violated fundamental principles of international law, including the prohibition on the acquisition of territory by force. The ICJ's ruling was not merely symbolic. It carried substantial political and legal weight. It served as a powerful indictment of Israel's policies and practices in the occupied territories. The court urged Israel to cease its settlement expansion activities, evacuate its settlers from the occupied territories, and provide compensation for the damages inflicted upon the Palestinian people. The ruling highlighted Israel's annexation policies, its systemic discrimination against Palestinians, and its exploitation of Palestinian resources. The court's findings resonated with the long-standing concerns of the international community. The ruling was lauded by human rights organizations and many states as a victory for international law and a step towards justice for Palestinians. However, Israel rejected the ICJ's decision, dismissing it as biased and politically motivated. To understand the roots of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the significance of the ICJ's ruling, it is essential to revisit the events of 1948. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which accompanied the establishment of the State of Israel, resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes and lands. This mass displacement, known as the Nakba, or catastrophe in Arabic, created a Palestinian refugee crisis that continues to this day. Many of these dispossessed Palestinians sought refuge in neighboring countries, including the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The Jenin refugee camp, established in 1953, stands as a stark reminder of the Nakba's enduring legacy. The camp, originally intended to house a few thousand refugees, has grown into a densely populated area home to generations of Palestinians who have been denied their right of return to their ancestral homes. Israel's occupation of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip in 1967 further exacerbated the plight of the Palestinian people. The occupation subjected Palestinians to a system of military rule, characterized by checkpoints, movement restrictions, and the confiscation of land for Israeli settlements. Palestinians have endured decades of systematic discrimination in areas such as housing, education, and access to resources, while Israeli settlers enjoy the privileges of Israeli citizenship and legal protections. Despite the immense challenges posed by the occupation, Palestinians have demonstrated remarkable resilience and a steadfast commitment to their rights and freedoms. They have organized protests, strikes, and boycotts to resist the occupation and demand an end to the injustices they face daily. Palestinian civil society organizations have played a vital role in documenting human rights violations, providing essential services to their communities and advocating for a just and lasting peace. The Jenin refugee camp, located in the northern West Bank, has come to symbolize both the resilience and the suffering of the Palestinian people under occupation. Jenin has a long history of resistance to Israeli military rule, dating back to the First Intifada from 1987 to 1993 and the Second Intifada from 2000 to 2005. The camp witnessed the emergence of armed resistance groups such as the Jenin Brigades, which have engaged in armed clashes with Israeli forces. Israel has responded to Palestinian resistance in Jenin with frequent and often deadly military incursions. These raids have resulted in numerous civilian casualties, widespread destruction of property, and the displacement of thousands of Palestinians. The cycle of violence in Jenin reflects the broader pattern of Israeli military operations in the occupied territories, which have been widely condemned for their disproportionate use of force and their devastating impact on Palestinian civilians.